think that we're not making changes that are big enough is the point I'm trying to make. And it's like, what is the point? Like, if you're going to charge me 10 cents a bag, I'm still going to say, sorry, I didn't bring my bag. If you're going to charge me, $100 a bag every time I go to the grocery store, then I'm going to be like, oh shit, I need to think about this. Right now, it's not enough. There's not enough penalty to not pay attention. And this is just one little thing.
So you're focusing on the consumer side of things.
Yes.
So I think there are cultural changes that occur at the consumer level, and changing the culture is very, very important. And there are societal changes that need to occur because our consumers and our voters, which is somewhat different, are forcing elected politicians to make changes on a global basis.
I know, but what I'm saying is the consumer, if you hit them hard enough, they're going to yell louder and they're going to vote harder for the people that they need to vote for to make those changes. I feel like you should clarify consumer versus voter. And you said because they're different.
They are. Just a moment, though. My concern is that if you hit consumers too hard, they will rebel. Because it's not... If you push a consumer and push somebody who's working 2 to 3 jobs to pay for rent that they can't afford, for a private school that their kid is not going to, or the neighbor's kid is going to, but they can't afford, they will rebel. And then the whole thing is lost. So you have to educate the consumers such that they're making smarter decisions at the market level. Mm-hmm. And educate voters. And voters tend to relate to their environment from a citizen perspective. And what I mean by that is they're not always buying things. It's not all individual. It is more community focused. And so they make slightly different decisions. It is not necessarily true that a voter will make the most rational decision in every election. Sometimes a voter will be so pissed off at a legacy political family that they vote for the jackass reality TV guy,
pussy grabber,
to send a message that they are annoyed with the establishment, never expecting him to win.
Oh, of course.
But now he's fucking there.
Yeah. That's a good point. All right. I'll take that.
Take it.
Nice. This is what I'm talking about. He's so good at walking me through the logic of
all the way through.
And I feel smarter.
So here's the other bit of good news. If the voters demand that the elected officials take climate change seriously and do something about it, they will follow. And if they don't, they will get voted out.
We're down to the wire here. Do we have enough time for that?
I don't know.
Catherine would say no.
Well, I think we're saving ourselves. The planet's going to go on, right? One way or another.
Yeah. Whether it'll be hospitable for human beings is another story.
Oh, my heavens. Do you binge watch anything, Dan?
Binge watch? This week has brought me back to The Walking Dead, but
Oh, really?
I wanted to ask you.
It's not that bad.
I've never seen it.
No, have you? So you've done the post-Rick Walking Dead?
No, don't even go there with me yet.
When The West Wing was a thing.
I think it was a little too old for that.
What do you mean? Who's too old for The West Wing? You're not.
I was already out of college. I was
if you didn't watch it,
I watched the first few years.
Wait, where did you go to school?
A few years.
Boston College. I watched the first few years. And,
did you? That's AOC, right? Was she Boston College or Boston?
Not that I know of,
something.
No.
That'd be
okay. Wait,
sorry.
Hold on for a second. You didn't watch it? Why? Because you were chasing girls.
As I was saying, I watched her for a few years, and then I think 9/11 came along, and that kind of rendered it irrelevant to me.
I have one word for you on that.
What's that?
Netflix. That was the first time an end of a series made me cry. I loved West Wing so much. It was ridiculous. More importantly, I want to know, which character on the West Wing are you?
I don't know that I'm any of those guys.
Come on.
I think they had a political consultant at one time.
Yeah. What's his name wrote it, right? The MSNBC guy?
Aaron Sorkin.
Sorkin, but the...
Lawrence O'Donnell.
Yes.
He was a consultant on it.
That was such a good show. I think that was a really good show.
Yeah, also, like 20 years ago.
Yeah. It was the first show also that people spoke so quickly that nobody could follow what they were saying. Does that happen in politics
really snappy.
As well? Is it like politics that make people talk that way?
Numerous times to slow down, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't feel like you talk too fast.
You get the flow going and then it's...
I've been compared to a Gatling gun.
I don't know what that is.
It's a gun that goes kick, 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 kick.
Oh.
But faster.
That's not the Dan I know. Do you know Dan got in trouble a couple weeks ago?
I
smacked him on his wrist. It was
like talking too loud again.
He was talking. No. So he does talk
Cursing.
loud, but you're also very, no, you're very self-aware. So you bring yourself into a space at Keller usually where it's not
available,
going to. Yeah, I know. We're getting so busy now that people are searching for places.
Nice.
And he happened to be sitting at the front table right outside my office.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on the phone, and I think he was getting all heated on a conversation. And I was like, don't make me kick you out of this place, Dan. And I was doing it a little bit in jest, and also because everybody was staring at him while he was on the phone. And I was like, oh, he's kind of loud, which it never bothers me. But I just found it interesting because you were in the front of the room instead of at the back of the building where you normally are.
Well, yeah, Cyprian sits up there, so I was trying to relay information to her while I was getting phone calls, and it was 2 weeks before the election.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let me preface all of that by saying that it was leading right up to the election, and both of them were going around like their hair was on fire. So, have you ever seen her stressed out?
She has cues, but she hides it well.
Yeah, she's pretty like...
Even
at least outwardly, she's pretty even keeled, right? And then she goes and crashes and sleeps for days. Dan, this has been super fun. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
What's next after
anything good?
November
the fall,
for you?
Right?
So the fall we are reloading now with new candidates who are running in the fall. It is a little tricky with this whole coronavirus thing, to make sure that we have enough happening quickly enough.
Boy, you want to be popular, hoard some hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
It's getting wacky.
If you can find some.
Do you know, I tell you what, we bought hand sanitizer here at Keller, like some really big giant ones. No, we bought it like probably 2 months ago. On a whim, I was like, why is there no hand sanitizer in this place? And so the girls bought these big jugs of it. I'm like, well, what
am I going to do? What am I going to do with all this hand sanitizer?
Well, no, I was just thinking we could have got a bunch of smaller ones to put around the space, right? And let me tell you how lucky we are to have those now.
Do you have a lot left over?
No, well, we won't after the next couple of weeks.
Well, I mean, is there a surplus? Would you say?
No.
Rats.
The answer is no.
Just wait till
also,
she
you'd
leaves.
have to bring your own travel size bottle to put it in because it's so large. On each table in each area, I have a bottle of the sanitizer. I have a bottle of hand lotion, because now everybody's hands are cracking from washing them.
Totally red.
You're gonna have to do like the bank and put a little chain on the bottles of sanitizer.
We have good people here. Nobody's stealing anything.
Hardly anybody showed up today.
I know. Today's the first day that I noticed, because this week, actually, we've been really busy.
Yeah.
And I think it was because...
fighting over toilet paper at Costco.
Like, somebody just told me there's a 3-hour wait to get into Costco.
Somebody told me the police were just called to the Novato Costco.
Okay, but you know that there's going to be nothing on the shelves when you get in there. Why are you waiting 3 hours to get in to confirm that?
You can get jumper cables.
Yeah. I understand the truck's delivered during the day.
Oh. Is your wife at Costco right now waiting for the delivery truck? She's calling them
every 2 to 3 hours.
I love it. I love it. She's lovely. She's in the entertainment biz. Does she know Harvey Weinstein?
No.
Thank God.
She was LA. He was New York mostly.
Oh. He didn't do anything in LA?
Well, he does a lot of stuff.
He must have, because they just shipped him off to LA to try him for something else.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Lock him up.
Dan, this has been fun. This has been super fun. Phil's
this was
good to meet you.
peculiar.
Phil's gonna now remind me of
Peculiar,
all of the things that. How do you feel? Are you still nervous?
A little bit.
Shut up.
I feel
You
like we
did
could talk,
beautifully.
more.
All of it. We can keep going. You want to keep going? I brought Laffy Taffy, so if you get hungry, you can have some.
Are you
taffy.
a Laffy Taffy breaker, or do you just
Oh no.
like a big hunk? You know that, right?
Well, I don't eat big hunks. Have you?
No, I'm saying you
Well,
can slam the Laffy
I mean, if
Taffy
you
on
listen
the
to
table.
a few of the episodes prior, somebody might argue with that.
But
Yes.
no, you can slam it on the table, which I wouldn't recommend on this table, but it'll break it into pieces.
It happens with Laffy Taffy too?
Do you have
Yeah.
to put it in the freezer first?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm. I know that story about the big hunk now.
I think it's just
about
a
it.
matter of kinetic energy.
Do your children ever go visit the Sweet Zone?
Can I see it?
Yes.
I'm going
In
to
Petaluma?
see if I can break it.
No. I don't want my taffy broken. I like it. I like to be able to like stretch it out when it's like. Also, I don't like it when it's hot because then it sticks to the paper.
I remember that when I was a kid, Laffy Taffy. It's kind of the hot thing at Halloween these days, too.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You know how God forbid, we have to do 4 more years with
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Back to the Trumpster. And everybody's like, oh, I'm going to move to Canada. Or I'm gonna move.
Yeah.
I mean, you as a politician, have you thought?
I'm not a politician.
I mean, well, as a representative in the political world,
in the fight.
I want to know, like, what is your recommendation? Because a lot of people feel that emotionally. They're like, I don't want to be an American anymore. And sometimes I feel that way, actually, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I feel embarrassed sometimes to be an American. But what's your advice for that? Because certainly there's so much good about it.
This too shall pass. It's not as bad as you think. He's a scumbag. He's a fraud. We know that. He's not all that America is. And when I come across that, what I want to do is just like do some sort of mind meld where I can, share everything I know about American history and American culture and everything that makes us so fantastic. But you can't do that. So you like travel.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage you to travel, to talk to people. And some of the nicest people you'll meet in this country are Trump supporters.
I know a lot
And
of
it's
them.
very strange. And it doesn't make a lot of sense when we're in this bubble in Northern California, but it's absolutely true. And what I try and venture out to myself is trying to figure out, why is this person supporting this guy for president? What am I missing?
Yeah.
What does not add up here? And where am I not connecting with them?
Have you been able to have that conversation with somebody?
On occasion,
And
yeah.
what? Any insight? Because you're right, we are in a bubble for a lot.
A lot of it has to do. A lot of it goes back to income inequality, and it's hard to have a conversation with a Trump supporter about income inequality because it's much more visceral. They think all the politicians are corrupt. They think that Trump is screwing over everybody, and they love it. And some of it has to do with their own latent misogyny and their own feelings of anti-women and masculine energy and all this other stuff. I was going to say nonsense, but it's not nonsense.
'Cause they believe it. But they should be educated.
Well,
And again,
almost more they feel it, right? Those are deep feelings.
Yeah, feelings. It's feelings.
Feelings. What about Facebook? What are we going to do about Facebook, man?
Oh, man.
They're like selling weapons to both sides, too.
That's a good metaphor, actually.
It is, man. They're killing me. I was down on a special, they were talking about pages and groups, giving a presentation. And and I could just see them giving this presentation to the white nationalists and then to the NAACP and then to whoever, you know what I mean? And they're like, everybody, this is how to fight on our platform.
Yeah, my objections to Facebook